champion, and that's what should happen. But as we know, there is the White House card coming up. It's around the corner. Dana White is actively sitting down in the war room with Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby, probably right now, and they are making the fight card. They are matching the fight.
I am now heading into matchmaking for the White House. Starts right now.
And they want this to be the biggest fight night, fight event, fight card of all time.
You know, this is like a one-of-one event. It's something that will never happen again. We believe that this is going to be the most watched UFC event ever.
And of course it has to be. You can't put an event on at the White House and not have the fight card just blow everything else to smithereens, right? This thing has to deliver, and it absolutely will. And they're going to put together the most incredible night of fights that us fight fans, UFC fans, could ever imagine, right? And there's no bigger fight right now, in my humble opinion.
The headline may sound like someone is being left out, but the truth is that this massive White House event requires the absolute biggest fights available. The speaker quickly points out that a showdown between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria is exactly that kind of matchup. Dana isn't leaving Islam off the card. If anything, he has no choice but to feature the most monumental clash possible. Sure, interim champion Justin Gaethje might technically be next in line for a title opportunity, but for a once-in-a-generation spectacle meant to overshadow everything else, standard matchmaking rules take a back seat. The stakes surrounding this event are simply too enormous for anything smaller than a fight of this scale. In the end, this isn't about excluding Islam at all. It's about the sheer size of the occasion demanding his presence.
Gage is going to have to wait, because on one side you have Islam Makhachev, a man that is 28-1, okay? A two-weight division champion. Dominated lightweight, the greatest lightweight fighter that the sport has ever seen. Yes, Conor McGregor was a bigger star. Yes, Khabib Nurmagomedov may be the GOAT, and he's a cultural icon, of course, and what he's done in this sport will never be forgotten. But on paper, Islam Makhachev has defended the belt 4 times more than anybody else, and then he went up to welterweight to take on Jack Della Maddalena and smoked him, walked through him, one-way traffic, made it look kind of easy, respectfully to Jack. The man is an extremely dominant two-weight division champion. And then on the other side, you've got Ilia Topuria. Speaking of Conor McGregor, did exactly what Conor did, went straight through the featherweight division, knocked out the champion in Volkanovski and made it look kind of easy. And then, again, goes up a weight class, takes on Charles Oliveira, takes him down, gets him in a crucifix, and then knocks him spark out, knocks him to the shadow realm. And he also became a two-weight division champion. Has that ever happened? Have we ever seen two-weight division champions going up against one another in their absolute primes? I don't think we have, whether it's in their prime or old damaged goods. I don't think we've ever seen two weight division champions going up against each other. It's never happened. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section.
Heard it right. Two champions who have ruled over two divisions meeting at the height of their careers. Just pause and think about that. Islam Makhachev didn't just dominate lightweight. He also stepped up to welterweight and dismantled Jack Della Maddalena. On the other side stands Ilia Topuria, a featherweight powerhouse who mirrored the rise of Conor McGregor before moving up and tearing apart Charles Oliveira. This goes beyond a normal super fight. It's a rare historical collision. We've never really seen two champions this dominant across multiple divisions face each other while both are still in their prime. It isn't just a fantasy matchup either. It's the type of legacy-shaping showdown that practically demands to headline the biggest event imaginable.
Man and their dog. Every fighter, whether they're retired, whether on the fringe of retirement, whether they're recently retired, or whether they're at the top of the sport or not, they're all putting their hand up. They're all saying, I want to fight on the White House card. We got Jorge Masvidal calling out Conor McGregor. That might be on there. We got John Jones, who retired, who ducked Tom Aspinall, who walked away from the sport, did a quick U-turn, stuck the handbrake on, spun it around and said, nah, that, I'm back, guys. Put me on at the White House. Michael Chandler's calling for the White House. As I say, everyone wants to be on the White House, okay? This fight card will be spectacular, and we're all going to watch it. It's going to be insane, and it's probably going to be free to air as well. But this fight, okay, Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, I do believe that is the biggest fight. Yeah, of course, you got Pereira versus maybe Cyril Gane for an interim championship at heavyweight. But is there a bigger fight? And yeah, maybe John Jones if he was to fight Tom Aspinall, but Tom Aspinall's out for the foreseeable future. John Jones doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall anyway, and John Jones can't be relied upon anyway because he said that he's got bad arthritis and he's walking away from the sport because he wants to play with his kids when he gets older.
The importance of a White House card can't be overstated. Fighters from all corners of the sport, from legends like John Jones considering a comeback to current contenders, are desperate to secure a spot. But realistically, many of those scenarios are just hopeful speculation and don't carry the same magnitude. Jones has dealt with health issues, and Tom Aspinall is currently sidelined. Other matchups might still be entertaining, but they simply don't bring the same historic significance or star power as Makhachev versus Topuria. An event of this scale demands something flawless. The main event has to rise above the sport itself. It's not merely about delivering a good fight, it's about presenting the fight that defines this once-in-a-lifetime moment.
And he has warned Topuria, listen, you are not ready for this. You do not want to step up to 170 pounds and take on Islam Makhachev. He said that he talks a good game and he fights pretty good, but against Islam Makhachev, he's going to learn a very tough lesson.
Я не вижу шанса у Топори.
And he's not the only Russian talking a bit of shit either. Old Shah Bullet, my one-eyed brother.
Hold on, there we go. Now we're brothers.
Of course, he came out and he had something to say. He said, Ilia Topuria is a good fighter on his own, but if you look at how he got to the belt, there were 4 or 5 questionable opponents. And when he fought really serious fighter, they were already worn out. Charles Oliveira was worn out. I think Max Holloway was a tough opponent, but he's not the same as before. He's taken a lot of damage in his career and he's kind of slowed down. Alexander Volkanovski was also not on the same level as what he used to be. Now, I'm a big fan of Shah Bullet. Of course, we have some things in common, and I think what he's doing in this sport with his limitations is phenomenal, but I disagree with him there, right? Listen, Max Holloway, you can't say this.
Things get interesting. The Dagestani camp, guided by the Eagle himself, Khabib Nurmagomedov, steps in with strong words. Khabib's message to Topuria follows his typical style, suggesting that he isn't ready and predicting a harsh lesson ahead. Then Sharabutin Magomedov joins in, questioning Topuria's resume and implying some of his past opponents were already worn down. This isn't just casual trash talk before a fight. It carries a deeper meaning, almost like a cultural statement challenging Topuria's aura of dominance. Suddenly, the matchup gains another layer of tension, mixing different fighting philosophies with national pride. Even though the commentator disputes the idea that those opponents were worn out, the comments undeniably ignite serious psychological warfare long before the fighters even step into the cage.
Success. You can't do that. And when he came up to 155 against Charles do Bronx Oliveira, it wasn't just a knockout punch. It was the way that he controlled the entire fight. And then when you look at what Charles Oliveira just did to Matheus Gamrot down in Brazil last year in October, right? You try telling Charles Oliveira that he's damaged goods. You try telling him that he should retire and hang it up. The man's fighting for the BMF, right? At the next pay-per-view against Max Holloway, and Ilia Topuria ran all the way through them. Made it look easy. He really did, right? Now, would this be the main event at the White House? I don't know. Does this suck to be Justin Gaethje? Of course it does, right? Justin Gaethje's no spring chicken. He's probably on the verge of retirement as well. Just put on a great performance, a great show, and a great battle between Justin and Paddy. Everyone loved that fight, right? And he should be next. But sorry, it is what it is in this kind of strange circumstances. And this is one of the only circumstances where I would not have an issue with this fight happening, because it is supposed to be the interim champion. And we know what happened with Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes defending the interim and all the rest of it, yada, yada, yada. We can go on all day. You know the score, right? But this is a little bit different. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right? To headline the White House. Now, that's the big question. Would it headline, do you think, a Russian?
Analyst doesn't hold back when responding to that narrative. Dismissing Ilia Topuria's incredible run by saying his opponents were finished fighters simply doesn't hold up. Watching the recent performances of Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira proves they were far from washed. Topuria didn't just scrape by them. He dominated in convincing fashion, displaying undeniable power and elite skill. And yes, it's tough for Justin Gaethje, a warrior who has certainly earned his opportunity. But this White House event is different from a normal card. It's not about the usual order of contenders. It's about capturing a singular moment in combat sports history. Sometimes the larger vision outweighs traditional matchmaking, and headlining such a historic stage is a reward unlike any other. pass on this matchup in favor of anything else would honestly feel like a disservice to the sport itself. This is the main event fans across the world want to see, and realistically, the only fight worthy of headlining such an iconic once